Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for skillofattraction.com. And today's attraction tips video is called I Love You Are Just Words. Now most everyone puts a lot of weight into hearing the words I love you. I mean, I know I do. And when I was younger, I would tell girls that I love them in order to push things over the edge in terms of getting into their pants. However, I realized that there are consequences to telling women that I'm in love with them when I really was not in love with them. And it was really just causing more problems than it was worth, to be honest. Upon that realization, I made a promise to myself that I would never tell a girl that again unless I truly meant it. Now, taking I love you out of the equation, it didn't really affect my game, and it actually made it much easier to avoid the hell that would rain down upon me from a woman scorned. However, not everyone, man or woman, sees it the same way. Whether they are just using those words to get something, or they think they're actually in love when they're not, like perhaps they're just infatuated or something. Many people use the words I love you quite freely, almost to the point where it becomes meaningless. As you become deeper involved with a woman, it's always nice to hear the words I love you, but does it really mean that they're in love with you? I mean, what else could it mean? Why would they even say it if they didn't mean it? And does it even matter? So in this attraction tips video, I'm going to be discussing how the words I love you are just that, words. They don't necessarily mean that she's in love with you. And why would she say those words when she doesn't really mean it? But if you guys need my personal help and you're interested in some private coaching, please head over to my website at skillofattraction.com. Click on the coaching tab, and there you'll see that I have several options for you to choose from. I offer standard email coaching as well as emergency email coaching, which includes a response from me on weekends and holidays. And I also offer both bi-weekly and monthly email coaching where I'll work with you throughout that time period. Additionally, I offer phone coaching for my U.S. clients. Now, if you're outside the U.S., or I should say North America, I will have some phone coaching option for you sometime in the future. But for right now, email coaching is the way to go. And I will post the link to both my contact page and my coaching page in the description down below. Now, as I just mentioned, I used to tell girls that I love them to get something out of them. Not always. I mean, there were times that I actually did mean it, but at this stage of my life, I really didn't know what love was, to be honest. So I just said it when the intimacy was starting to heat up to help ensure I would get what I wanted. Yeah, it was a bit on the sinister side, but I was a young man who really didn't know any better. I'm sure many of you have done the same thing, or at least know some other dudes who've done it as well. My point being, not everyone that tells you that they love you actually means that they are head over heels in love with you. For one thing, there are many different types of love. There's romantic love, which is what most people think of in terms of romantic relationships and sexual attraction and whatnot, which is more along the lines of what I teach you guys. But then there's friendly love, like how you would feel for one of your close buddies. There's family love, like how you feel about your siblings or parents or children. There's universal love, where you feel love for people of the world in general. There's more practical love, which is more logical, like when some couples get married because it makes sense. Like they have shared goals, they starting a business together, they have a good job and would make a good father and so on. And then there's self-love, which obviously is about being proud of yourself and feeling confident about who you are. And I'm sure there's many other kinds of love out there that I'm not thinking about off the top of my head, but you get the idea. And there are many different types of love. Now, telling your buddy that you love him and telling your girl that you love her are obviously quite different. And we instinctively know the difference without having to question it. It's almost like an unwritten rule. Now, I'm sure you're not going to go ask your buddy when he tells you that he loves you, are you saying that you're in love with me? Like you love me? Or just you love me? I mean, you're going to be getting some weird looks if you say that to one of your friends. Now, where this could get a little confusing is when your girl tells you that she loves you. Now, why would this be confusing? I mean, the woman who you love is telling you that she loves you. What man doesn't love hearing that, right? And as men, we pretty much take words at face value. There's typically no underlying meaning to the words that we say. I mean, we say what we mean and we mean what we say. And that's how we communicate with each other. But with women, they don't always mean what they say. In fact, you often have to read between the lines to fully understand what a woman is trying to get across to you. And there's a lot of sub-communication when it comes to women. They don't always communicate directly like we do. In fact, they rarely do, but it's their preferred method of communication. I've coached several women in the past where they're asking me how to get through to their man, and I almost always have to explain to them that if they want to get through to him, they must be direct. But I digress. My point being, men and women communicate differently. And when a woman tells us that she loves us, we might say to ourselves, okay, great, she loves me, all's well in the relationship. And it often is fine. But just saying those words to you should have meaning behind it, or it's just words that are really meaningless. A lot of guys don't pay attention to a woman's actions and focus solely on her words because that's the way we communicate. But actions never lie, at least in the long term. So it's important that you pay more attention to her actions over her words. And I've mentioned this many times before in my videos. You want to be sure that her actions are matching her words. She could tell you how much she loves you all day, and she could tell you how much she supports you, but if her actions suggest otherwise, then she's just pumping you up for whatever reason, most likely trying to get something out of you. And what if you discover that her actions are not matching her words somewhat consistently over time? Well, then it's time to start taking a deeper look at the relationship. I mean, is she with you because you're paying the bills? Is she just lonely and using you for your company, or because she has nothing else going on that's better? Is she with you because your status in the world is providing her with something she couldn't normally get? When women use you, it's not just for money, as most men believe. Sometimes they'll use you for your attention or because you give her emotional satisfaction. Remember, they don't always have the same needs and wants that us men do in a partner, where we're pretty much only looking for, good sex, a good meal, some strong support, loyalty. Women want attention and security and emotional fulfillment, hot sex, and a ton of other things. I mean, the list is long. But the point being, men and women want and need different things, and you have to pay attention to the reasons that she's with you. I know of women who go out on dates strictly for the meal. I mean, they're not even into the guy. They just want that free meal. I know of women who go out drinking to bars without any money and drink for free all night because guys are paying for their drinks. I mean, now, they're not telling these guys that they're in love with them, but these women are clearly telling these men things, or at least implying it, that lead them to believe that these women like these guys. So sometimes women will tell you what you want to hear in order to get what they want. Now, does this make women evil? Well, I mean, it's really no different than you telling women what they want to hear in order to get what you want. I mean, nice guys do this sort of thing all the time, but the difference there is that women can sense this. Well, at least in most cases. And like I said, just pay attention to her actions over words. This doesn't mean that their words are meaningless, only that without her words being backed up by congruent, consistent actions, they really don't mean all that much at all. Hearing your girl tell you that she loves you doesn't always mean that she's in love with you. However, if she shows you that, or if she shows you that she loves you and you could feel her energy, her loving energy, which you should be able to feel it, then she probably truly means that she's in love with you. On the other hand, if she's just telling you what she thinks that you want to hear, and doesn't back that up with her actions, then she's most likely just telling you these things in order to get something out of you. Now, I'm only explaining this because many men out there have been led astray by these words when these words turned out to be rather meaningless. Then they're left wondering what the hell happened. But she said that she loved me. How could she do this? Well, that's because she didn't truly love you. She only told you that to get something out of you. Like I and many other men have said that to women to get something out of them. Now, honestly, it's a pretty shitty thing to do, to play with someone's heart like that, but people do it all the time, and you want to be aware of that, and you want to be prepared. Now, I hope that this has never happened to you, and it will never happen to you, and I hope that you do find a woman who does truly love you and shows it every day. Those women are out there. They're not a myth like many of you have been led to believe. But to keep that love, you have to continue building yourself up and maintain it. If you've never seen my video called Women Will Not Love You Unconditionally, I strongly encourage you to watch it because a woman's love is very conditional. So, if you guys have found this video helpful or any of my videos helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and for you to share it with any of your friends and family. And I'd also really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol next to it so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. In the description down below, not only will I have a link to both my contact page and my coaching page, oh, and I also have a link to some recommended reading of some great books that will really help you further understand how attraction works and understand the masculine, feminine dynamics in relationships. But I also have a link to PayPal and my Bitcoin wallet if you deem this video worthy of a donation. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.